Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to go on a little adventure in Panama City Beach, Florida. A beautiful sunlit day we have today. And if this is your first time here, please hit the subscribe button, and there'll be more right after the intro. Thank you. Here we are. We found a parking spot. And even though I'm a local, it is important to, don't park where you're not supposed to park unless you have someone's permission. I always like to ask, just because I wouldn't want somebody parking in my place who shouldn't be. But this is definitely a public lot. When I first scouted the location, I wasn't sure that it was here. As ownership changes and restaurants absorb things, legally. But there's definite signage that says beach access parking. So we're okay as long as we don't stay overnight. We're gonna take a short hike to the spot we're going to today. We're here in scenic Panama City Beach. It's a bit warm, but the weather's beautiful. I definitely feel fortunate to be able to live here. I've never been a pedestrian at this particular intersection before. It's kind of busy. I guess I was supposed to push the button. So like I said, it's important not to park in places you shouldn't without permission. And even then, probably get it in writing unless you really like having your vehicle towed. A lot of these places are smaller lots, houses that turn into rentals, beach cottages. They don't have much parking to start with, and nothing's by bedrooms here. It's all how many sleep. Sleep 7. Well, that might be including the bathtub or the closet. So if you think about 7 people coming down with 7 vehicles potentially into an old beach cottage that has maybe 1, 2, 3 spots, exponentially things get overcrowded very quickly. Push the button again. Trust the button. That would be warm, but before I came here I took a dip in the pool, so I'm kind of wet, and that's keeping me cooler. But I'm sure that'll end soon as the cool water of the pool turns into humidity. Should be just a couple minutes till we get to the spot. Thanks. That sounded expensive. Like any other beach town, or resort seaside town, you've got a patchwork of buildings and stuff, and I think that's what gives it its character. It doesn't have to all look the same. It doesn't even have to match the property next to it. A lot of these places, people are not they're not really staying there all day anyway. They want to go to the beach. This is a place to leave the car, and in the words of George Carlin, a place for their stuff. Okay, we're about 3/4 of the way there.
Today we're going to explore Beach Access 1. Bay County / Panama City Beach here has a series of these beach access points, which is nice. The beach itself is public, but the access is controlled. You shouldn't cross someone's property to go to the beach. Something kind of important that's been in the news lately is this here. The beach flag warning system. The double red flag is the one you want to be cautious of. You should be cautious at all times, but it's not a swimming pool out there. There is marine life, there is water, there's sand, seaweed. But when it's double red flag, the top one shown there, is absolutely forbidden to go in the water. They make exceptions, I believe, for surfers who are tethered to their surfboard. And other than that, you can get fined, possibly arrested. And they're doing it for people's protection and safety. That's it. And the reason why is what's shown here. This rip current. You could be caught in a rip current, which wouldn't be very wide. If you swim parallel to the shore, you'd be able to escape it. But if you try to fight it, even an Olympic swimmer could not get out of it if needed. I was caught in one once, and luckily I remembered you could just swim sideways and everything was fine. And they have had some issues here, some arrests, and there's been probably some other bad things that have happened. So, you know, stay safe out there. We don't really have a lifeguard system in place. There are some lifeguards at some of the rental areas, but generally you're not going to see lifeguard towers like you see on TV or in movies. I don't want to say you're on your own, but you got to use your head. You are the first responder to your own problem.
So we're going to access the beach down here. This little breezeway. Oh, that wind feels good. There are properties on either side of us, and they're residential, so, you know, just like any other common sense situation, be kind. And try not to disturb anybody, because there are people living there, sleeping there. So we're down on the beach now. If you look,
that is the Gulf of Mexico as we know. You can sort of see the strip of condos going down that way. We're almost on the most easternmost point of Panama City Beach. That way down there is St. Andrews State Park, which I've filmed at before. And right here is the money shot. You saw that white stuff. It is not snow. It is sand. It's crushed quartz. Probably originally from the Appalachian Mountains. That washed its way down here. And has some unique properties. It looks very white. Probably the whitest sand you'll see. We're consistently ranked as the world's most beautiful beaches.
and there's a reason for it. And if you look at this, you're not going to see this anywhere else. There are other unique beaches in the world, but this one is unique to our area, Northwest Florida. The other property it has is it doesn't really get too hot to the touch. So if you go, I'm in the shade right now. If you walk where the sand is here, now let's take my shoes off. I'm not gonna say it's like walking on carpet, but it won't burn your feet usually. So you can see a basic day at the beach for a local. It's pretty easy. Find somewhere to park. Find a way to access the beach. There is over 100 of these beach access points. Plus there's the state park. And there's a couple of piers that you can access it. And then go to the beach. Now the only problem you got with using some of these is they're not gonna have a lot of facilities. You're not gonna necessarily have vending. You're not gonna necessarily have a restroom. So going to one of the places where there's a pier or a city park or something like that, you will have those things usually. But you can bring what you need. Great little spot near Beach Access 1. About 15-minute walk, maybe 5 minutes to drive. Panama Pizzeria. I think pizzeria is almost a misnomer for this place. They have a lot of good Italian food. Everything on the menu is really good, and I really enjoy this restaurant. Okay, well, thank you for making it all the way to the end of the video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and there should be more ahead. We had fun today, didn't we? See you next time.